when I was creating tweets for myself, I saw the traction in providing value in these tweets. Like somebody would stop their day and read what you have to say and either be educated by it, entertained by it, or inspired by it.
Right.
I realized that's the formula. That's the framework. The framework is entertainment, education, or inspiration. So if I'm gonna put out content, I'm not gonna put out any look at me content. That's what most people are doing on social media. We're gonna run the learn from me play, laugh with me play, be motivated with us play.
Just give me the cheat code.
All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Cheat Code Unlocked, man. Today, we have the one, the only, Mr. Matty J in the building.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Been watching you for some time. Obviously, you move different.
Move different. Camera, lights, action.
The CEO of CEOs.
Hey, we finally made it to the cheat code. You know what I'm saying?
Finally.
Man,
Finally.
look. All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Cheat Code Unlocked, man. Today, we have the one, the only, the CEO of CEOs, Mr. Matty J in the building.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Matty.
Hey, we finally made it to the cheat code. You know what I'm saying?
Finally.
Man,
Finally.
Look, I appreciate you being here first and foremost, man.
Amen.
You know, I've been watching you for some time. Obviously, you move different.
Move different.
Move
man.
different.
Camera, lights, action.
You move different, you know what I mean? And it stands out, and I think that's definitely something to be said there. You know what I'm saying? So you've been doing your thing for sure, man. So
Yeah, I want to first give all thanks and praise to God for running this play for us.
1,000%.
Connecting high-level playmakers together.
The
You know what I'm
ultimate
saying?
playmaker.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody,
sure.
the family. I'm glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to share some of my experiences, learn some game from you guys' perspective too,
For
and
sure.
trade some value.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Trade some value.
Trade some
value.
value.
Trade
Yeah,
some
I see
cheat
what you
codes.
did there. That's a cheat code right there.
We're gonna trade some cheat codes today, man. So, for those of you who don't know, Matty's like a huge entrepreneur in the space. Most of y'all probably already know that. But Matty, let's kind of jump into your background, kind of how you got to where you are now. You know what I'm saying? And what the first play was.
Okay, the first play was I was born.
Well,
Right.
That's a major
God
play.
bless. God bless for
Major
that.
play.
Yeah, for sure.
I was born and raised in the Los Angeles greater area.
Right.
Covina. I grew up in Covina. It's
Okay.
called a city called Covina.
Yeah.
The 626 area.
Okay.
And I was really big on sports. But I moved.
Basketball.
I was hooping. You know what I'm saying? I was
You
hooping.
got some height
I
on
heard
you.
you
Yeah.
guys.
I was hooping. I know. You should have pulled up.
I called this man. All I could hear was
yeah. I was with
And
Mitch.
one
Matter of
mixtape.
fact, last night.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, so once I'm actually moved to a different area, like greater LA, the Valley, the A1A. And in the Valley, I became a hustler actually selling candy. And the reason why I started selling candy is because my dad, anytime I asked for my dad for something, it was like walking on eggshells. So I said, okay, I need to generate some income. However, it came from the fact that I love candy. I love candy. Like
Man,
to this day.
You and this guy both.
I got an issue.
Sweet tooth.
Super sweet tooth.
Crazy.
So I used to buy candy for myself, and people would ask for it. And of course, I'm gracious enough to give, but at the end of the day, I'm like, damn, I can't always give my candy away.
Facts.
Put two and two together. I realized an issue. The issue was I didn't really have control of what I wanted to get without having to go through my dad.
Kind of more on that story to me is simplification, right? A lot of times,
For sure.
we overcomplicate what entrepreneurship is, and then there's a problem and there's a solution.
Simple
and the
as
person
that.
that kind of provides that solution is what we call an entrepreneur, right? You know what I mean?
man.
Value exchange, everything's real straightforward. So that's actually a dope origin story.
Yeah, that was
I think a lot of people can relate. A lot of parents can identify that in their kids. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Parents out there, you know what I'm saying? Your kids asking you for something, just, Be able to encourage them, ask them, hey, how can you turn this into a business? You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to all my African parents out there
Yeah.
creating all these
I
entrepreneurs.
know you
Now you know why we like
That's
this.
a-
Yeah, you
Why
know
we
what I mean?
it's
Y'all
like
didn't
this.
know,
Something
man.
embedded in us,
Y'all
man.
wanted us to just go to school, get good jobs, be engineers and all that stuff. But
Facts.
look,
Facts.
We're not
y'all
built the
created
same.
something even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Created a monster. We can run the plays.
Money monster.
Created playmakers,
Yeah.
man. So that's dope. All right, so you got your first play, man. You doing candy. You know
That
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
first play.
So you get into college, I'm assuming, or
Man.
not college, or well, how did that
What
how did
college?
that time period? Good. Yeah,
What
how that time
college?
period happen?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Okay.
All right, so after high school, I enrolled to college.
Mhm.
It was a JC.
Mm.
It was called Pierce College in Woodland Hills. So I had to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I went to the computer lab and I'm messing with these programs. I developed a skill to design. I was editing my pictures, editing my profile. I became really good at not only design, but also coding, HTML.
Yeah, right. HTML back then, yeah.
And it came up, my creative side came up with the idea to do that F-top 8.
Mhm.
And I made 8 profiles,
Man.
made the icon, spelled the letters out,
Yeah.
and I made those profiles my top 8 in order.
Oh,
So when you go to my page, it will
just
say
said
F-top
top
8.
Yo.
So what everybody did was go to my page and they'll click the letter and they'll say, what's going on here? And they'll be able to add the page as a friend and make it their top 8. So
Oh, so
everybody
that-
had
Their top 8 will also say
F-top 8. Had thousands, hundreds of thousands of pages that said F-top 8,
Yes,
growing
bro.
followers. And that's when I realized the power of leveraging trends,
Yeah.
leveraging social media,
Creating trends. Yeah.
creating trends at
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Celebrities were doing it. So this is how I connected with Jeremiah, Soulja Boy, Waka Flocka, Gucci Man. And a lot of plays that most people mess up at is when they make a play like that, it's just a moment. It's not a movement.
Yeah. Nah.
So I turned that moment into a movement by designing for these celebrities who are now following me. So I reached out to them. I'm like, oh, this is an opportunity to figure out how I can do work with them.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So I reached out to Soulja Boy. I'll design your mixtape covers for free.
Oh, dope.
Waka Flocka, I'll design all your... And they were dropping mixtape. I'm back in the mixtape era.
Yeah.
Back-
5 mixtapes a week.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So I
That's
got
a
the
fact.
opportunity to put my logo on these mixtapes,
Right.
and when they distributed on digital platforms like DatPiff and MyMixtape.com.
Oh, that piff, man.
That
Just,
Piff.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing used to be on all the
Bro.
mixtapes. That-
Yeah.
And it was World Star,
World-
DatPiff.
yeah, World
Those
Star.
are the rotation that's
That's a
getting your
fact.
music out there. And I was a part of that wave by leveraging the celebrities by doing work for them, the design work.
Nah, that's major, bro. So I don't want nobody to miss that cheat
Right.
code that you just
Right.
dropped right there,
Facts,
man.
facts,
Make sure you turn your moments into movements, man.
Oh,
Massive.
That
Massive.
is a gem, a jewel, a bar, whatever you want to call it, man. You gotta turn your moments into movements.
Yeah.
That's actually really major because everybody has some type of moment. Most
Everybody,
people on
right.
social media, if you're trying to be, to do something significant, you're gonna have your moment at some point in time. But
Right.
you always gotta be able to recognize it and turn that into a movement. You could have just left that as just being a
Right,
thing.
right.
That's it.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm saying?
skill
But
set
being
of
able
its
to
own.
leverage- Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
even identifying the moment
Opportunities.
when you're in opportunity zones. Like, hey,
Facts.
I got all these people at my thumbs, my fingertips.
Facts.
How can I utilize these people to get to
Facts.
the next level? You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
I like that word, opportunities.
Right,
That's
right.
a hard. That's a
Yeah,
hard.
Yeah,
term.
facts. All right, so now you leverage the social media, and now you now come from that to high level entrepreneurship, like
Yes.
bridge that gap for us of
Okay.
going
The
from
high
going
level
from
plays.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To be
From the
honest,
graphic
man.
design to the back end guy.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
everything I did ended up being like a high level play. Everything,
Mhm.
no matter how people look at it, things like if I worked at McDonald's, it'll be
Right.
at a high level.
Mhm.
Right.
And most people don't see that the blessing, how to squeeze all the juice out of a lemon in your specific situation.
Right.
A lot of us entrepreneurs, we poo-poo on 9 to 5s. I've heard somebody call a job the journey of the broke. I'm like, golly, why you going in?
That's
How do
what
you-
hurt
how do you
me.
get
Yo,
wealth
what
without having to do any work?
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying?
And how you gonna treat your
Yeah.
employees?
Yeah.
Right,
That's
right.
like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
make no
just
sense.
posted something actually about something like that. You know what I'm saying? You get a job, you get the job to get the money. You know what I'm saying? The money to
To
gain
invest,
wealth, and then the wealth to gain freedom type of situation.
Makes
you know what I'm
sense.
saying? It's
Yep,
like
that makes
it's
sense.
everything is a step in life. That's
Exactly.
what people miss. Right?
Transitional process.
100%.
Not everything. You just don't wake up one day and then become like, you know what I'm saying, this Warren Buffett.
And I wouldn't
this
even
Jeff
wish that
Bezos,
on
this
anybody.
Elon Musk.
Exactly.
I wouldn't
You
wish
missed-
that on
you missed-
anybody.
You missed the whole journey.
You will literally lose it if you never go through that process of stepwise motion. you will always end up in a
Facts.
position where you miss so many lessons
Bruh.
to get to that position that you'll lose it all. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Facts. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
The statistics are there with people who win the lotto.
Facts. Exactly.
Yep.
You know?
And a lot of people don't realize this entrepreneurship journey is not for the faint of heart.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those people who, you know, because of my background, I never really was able to get a 9-to-5 in general. You know what I'm saying? So I never have had a real 9-to-5 job. But that entire process, you know, of entrepreneurship is, I mean, you have your peaks, you know what I'm saying? But then when them lows come, bro, it takes a different type of personality to be able to deal with those type of situations. So, you know, jobs definitely provide that stability, you know what I'm saying, to be able to leverage into other things. So
Definitely.
But
yeah, so to answer your question, like I always try to figure out ways to optimize my current situation at a high level.
Right.
And my personality trait, I'm very analytical. I'm very structured, process. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm trying to grow the numbers.
Right.
So that's what I did with any territory I'm in. So from the what was the play for the candy selling play to the party, me throwing parties, me doing digital designs, websites, always trying to do it at a high level. But the thing is, I never relied on doing these plays by myself. I always relied on help, finding resources, leveraging other people's experience, time, energy, money, things of that nature. So that's the reason why I was able to expedite my success in everything I do. It was never by myself. And even with the candy play, keep bringing that up, I was able to scale because I started putting my friends on.
Yeah.
Right.
And as I was putting them on, they was putting me on in opportunities I didn't see. Opportunities I didn't recognize.
Right.
Ways to run the play based on their experience. I'm like, dang, we really grown as a squad, as a team, and allowed me to build even tighter relationships with them. It wasn't just going to school and play basketball. We had other opportunities to bond, build, grow, develop, things of that nature. So right after the candy play, the design play, the party play, dancing play, I then start tapping into creating my own brand on Twitter. This is when Twitter popped off.
Was the next one.
2009, 2010, Twitter started making its moves. This is when I linked up with my guy Spectacular.
Yeah.
Spec found me from these dancing videos.
It's crazy, man. Evergreen content.
Evergreen.
That's the cheat code here. Evergreen
that's the bar.
content.
Yeah.
That's the bar. I made this video 3 years ago.
It's crazy.
And he was on that tip because, you know, he's an entertainer. And that's his lane. His lane is being sexy Spec for the ladies and doing these dance moves. So we met up, linked up based off of that. And then we start to realize that the play is digital content. And he went viral a couple of times for some of the videos he made because he understood the power of the social.
Right.
So once I started realizing that, I connected with Spec. We start building out Twitter accounts.
Wow, multiples.
Yeah, multiple pages. We created parody pages.
Man, okay.
So these parody pages, we'll create a page, like a parody page, like Peter Griffin from Family Guy. Call it Peter Griffey. And tweet and like how he would tweet.
He was tweeting. Wow.
Motivational quotes in his voice.
Oh,
Charlie Sheen was really big at the time with the winning statement.
Right.
We made his parody account, Charlie Sheeny. He even followed it. We made tweets, funny tweets with his style of humor.
I'm not gonna say I'm not creative. I don't have that level of creativity.
Man.
So how do you sit down and adapt to step into a character? That takes a lot of acting, creativity, and stuff like that, especially consistently.
Well, I really don't know the answer on how, what sparked it.
It's an innate sense.
Something you can do.
Yeah, it's obviously there's an origin to it. Right. However, I haven't really recognized it yet.
I got you.
However, when I was creating tweets for myself, I saw the traction in providing value in these tweets. Like somebody would stop their day and read what you have to say and either be educated by it, entertained by it, or inspired by it.
Right.
I realized that's the formula. That's the framework. The framework is entertainment, education, or inspiration. So if I'm going to put out content, I'm not going to put out any look at me content. That's what most people are doing on social media. We're going to run the learn from me play, laugh with me play, be motivated with us play. And that was getting high ROI, return on impact and income. Most people, like I said, they were just posting selfies on their MySpace, talking about their own day in a more, I wouldn't say, they'll share because Twitter is supposed to be a journal, of opportunity to share what's going on in your life, but I would frame it in the context of how it can be relevant to everybody else as well, not just myself.
Right.
So that's allowed
important.
traction that I needed to build a following.
Yeah. What advice would you give entrepreneurs today who are trying to build social presence?
For me, it's real simple. Self-awareness, self-evaluation. If we don't know ourselves, we can't grow ourselves. And a lot of people think that it's business development that we need first, but we're the ones running the business. So if we're disorganized in our personal life, we're going to disorganize the organization. If our personal finances are in shambles, the business finances are going to shamble. And I saw the connection. Anytime I was going through something in my personal life, it was affecting my business.
Man, that's crazy.
Because I'm the one running.
Like you seen trading.
Yeah, so that's it's the reality.
Imbalance.
Right? So once I start focusing on personal development, I start getting on YouTube University. That's where the Eric Thomases, the all these people that were focused on making sure you have a good mental, personal perspective on things. It 10x everything I was doing. I want to work on fertile land.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that foundation was a game changer, and I don't see enough people talking about how to execute that more effectively. Yeah, we talk about motivation and all that stuff, but not a real framework to really know who you are and where you've been, where you currently are, and where you plan on going. So once I had a clear path of my destination and my past, oh my God.
It was over.
Elevation.
Nah, man, you got my head spinning right now because I definitely relate, to that. It's exactly what you're saying. The moment you start getting disorganized personally, or if you are disorganized personally, your business will be disorganized.
Thanks.
Right? So personal development as the first step to business development is a major, major ball. And I actually appreciate that, you saying that in the first place because that's, definitely, got me thinking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of traders, they ask me, what stocks am I trading or investing in? And I told them the ticker sign, $sign yourself. YRS.
First investment. I say the same.
Yeah.
It's Scott. I say the exact same thing, bro.
Yeah, man.
You are the first investment, the best investment.
I know people who invest more in other businesses than they do themselves.
That's a fact.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And you have the highest ROI in your life.
The highest.
Point blank
without
period.
a doubt.
Point blank period.
But I get it too because a lot of us don't know exactly how to do that, what framework.
Right.
So I actually create a framework for myself on how to invest in myself.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
some people I feel like don't
I need to hear that one. That sounds like an ultimate cheat code.
Yeah, that sounds.
Is that a private framework?
That is the Chico. The framework is Splash. It's an acronym. I mentioned this before on a couple of different platforms. So the S stands for your story. A lot of us think that we have to wait until we're of old age to tell our story to other people or have our story documented or have a biopic or autobiography.
Right.
I believe that we should be documenting our life
every day
in some form or fashion and packaging it up in a timeline, just like how we was impacted when we saw Last Dance, Michael Jordan's documentary. I was impacted because I got to see the whole process, who was all involved. The characters, the plots, the ups, the downs.
Storytelling.
It was a story.
Tell your story.
So the first thing I would do is I'll tell my own story. I'll interview myself. A lot of people go on these amazing podcasts to get interviewed, but have you actually interviewed yourself first?
Yeah.
So that's the S in Splash. Splash is the acronym. S stands for story. The P stands for personality. A lot of us don't really know our own personality type. If we don't know our own personality, we don't know how to engage with other people with different personalities.
100%.
We end up having issues, disagreements.
So you talking something like the Myers-Briggs type thing?
Yeah, whether it's Myers-Briggs, I like the bank code. The bank code keeps it real simple. There's 16 personalities. There's so many different things that you can use to identify your personality, but that's key. It's not just zodiac signs. Most people just focus on the zodiac signs. Yep.
Which are legit too, though, by the way. Y'all make sure y'all know your sun sign, your moon sign.
The whole nine.
I'm with all the
Run the play.
Yeah, but make sure you get that Banco and Myers-Briggs as well. If you have all three,
find out what works
some
for
sort
you.
of synonym in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Common variables for sure.
Cool.
So that's the P. The L stands for likes. I need to know what I like. In my life, the food I like, the ambiances I like, the music I like, and a lot of people think they know what they like. But if you don't write it down, you're not gonna create what we call lifestyle design. You're not gonna design your life around those likes. And that's what I did. For the year 2022, I said, I like these certain types of foods. So I'm going to engage in it more. However, I'm also going to be more optimistic about foods I've never tried before. So I'm in the Delta Sky Club. When we get off a flight, I'm more interested in going to the Delta Sky Club to try all the different foods. I was the type of person that used to say, I hate vegetables.
Yeah.
You know why? Because my dad used to force me to eat some vegetables I did not like eating. And that carried with me for a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
But now I have to open my mind and say, okay, well, first off, why did I not like vegetables? So once I wrote down my likes and dislikes, I have to ask myself, why did I not like it? And then I realized, oh, it was just a situation or experience that I didn't really enjoy. So I said, okay, let me try and create my own experiences around vegetables. Remember, I like sweets. Right? So I went to Digital Side Club. I'm getting the foods. I'm always going to the foods that I usually like, but I'm never going to grow just always getting the stuff that I like. So I said, all right, let me try something different. I like buffets because I get to try a bunch of different foods.
That's why I like Chipotle.
You know, it's crazy.
This man will eat Chipotle like 8 days out the week if you let him, man. Like literally.
And I do try. I mean, honestly, being with somebody
He
like
might
because this guy, all he does is eat something different.
Yeah,
that's
I can't eat the same thing.
That's one thing I'll peg him for. That's a fact.
That's the
if you're with this guy, you're gonna eat something different. Anybody that's ever traveled with us, anything else, you will try something else. Even if you don't like it, blah blah blah.
I believe you gotta try everything once, 100%. At least once.
You're not gonna know if you like it. So here's the play though. When I was in the Delta Side Club, I'm walking by, I see olives. I'm like, oh, I ain't trying to eat that. Somebody was in the line, says, oh, olives, I love olives. I'm like, what? But in my mind's like, all right, why does she love the way she said it was so convincing?
Yeah,
she said it to her. Yeah. She was talking to herself. Yeah. She wasn't talking to me. I said, all right, I'm gonna try this olive.
Yeah.
So I scooped up 3 of these olives, put on the plate. I sat down. Again, part of the taste is having the mindset to be open. If I say I'm going to hate it, that's going to be part of the process.
100%.
So I was open-minded and humble enough to, all right, cool, I'm going to try this out. Tell me why that was the best thing I ever tasted that whole week, that olive, bro. I never thought in my life that I would like olives. Them things was delicious.
That's funny, man.
Wow. Delicious.
Similar experience, but I still didn't like it.
Bro.
Similar to my homeboy, he used to eat them out the jar.
Was it? No, heck no, that's not the one I ate. I'm not doing that.
Okay,
it was loaded. So it was like, I always realized too, it's also how things are prepared. It's not just the thing itself. It's sometimes who makes it, how it's made. So I had
all
to
these variables.
All those variables. Yeah. So I considered that. And then I documented as I ate. I like olives. Loaded olives. I wrote it down.
Loaded olives.
And here's the thing. That list, I can now share that list with my friends and family so they don't have to ask me, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
They have a reference.
Nah, man, that's some boss next level stuff. Somebody say, hey, what you want to eat? You hand them a notebook.
Share them a note.
Drop them.
My wife knows what time to do it.
Drop them a note.
I don't have to think about it. A lot of arguments between people comes down to what we gonna eat.
Man, almost every day.
We had so many of those moments.
Bruh, where we gonna eat? I don't know. Then you don't end up eating. Now you're hungry, and now there's something called being angry. You can't perform.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah,
so
it's real. 100%.
So those little things was key. So that's the L in likes. Then I had the I had to document my abilities. A lot of us don't know our value because we haven't documented what we're able to do already. So I wrote down every single job I've ever had. Every time I make income, like what business I did, I documented all those things and what skills I developed from each one of those businesses, the hard and soft skills, and I put it in a document. So when people ask me, hey, how can you provide value in this situation? I'm able to share that document and they'll be able to identify, oh, this is the play that we want you to run, right? So that was key for me, my abilities. Then I had the other S in Splash was my scares. I documented my scares, the things that are preventing me to do the things that I want to do. Any obstacles, objections I had, I wrote them down. And then I have the chance to look that monster in its face and say, okay, why am I tripping about this? And is there a way to overcome it? And when I was very, very vulnerable and transparent with sharing that list, people who've already overcome those situations can give me advice now. Yo, I went through that same situation, but this is how I ran the play. All right? And the only way I got help is by sharing it. Most people keep their problems in their head. We don't know how to help you.
100%.
All right, so that was that aspect.
Especially men, man. Especially men. Yeah. We are notorious.
Oh my goodness, we need emotional support.
Scared? Like what scared? Ain't nobody scared.
All right, no problem talking.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's a good one.
Right, okay. And the last 3 was the HED. H stands for habits. So I document my good and bad habits. The E stands for the events of how I currently entertain, educate, and inspire people. I have to write it down. How am I educating people, impacting people, inspiring people? I write those things down and evaluate it. If I'm doing it at a low level, I need to step it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the last is the D, my declaration of my core values and purpose. Me understanding what my core values are is the most important part of business development because it's going to be based around that. How I think, what I value. And I make sure that the team members that I have in the group, we all share similar values. Right. And I can't find the team with the right values if I don't know my own values.
Right.
So I document that and I complete my splash.
Listen, man, we need a splashed journal.
Yeah.
We're gonna come out.
We need the cars, man. I was checking out the cars.
What?
We got.
Yeah, I need to run that play with the
for
splash.
sure, man. Let's do it. Yeah, we got the flash card. That actually be dope, man.
Hey, listen to it here. They hear it now. You hear it now.
Let's go.
There's already a playing process.
Y'all seen it happen live. Nah, okay, so get your splash together because that's something I think, I'm definitely about to do on the plane ride back home.
Let's run it. I'm going to send you the framework, bro.
Please do.
Definitely.
Please do because, that's really critical. A lot of what I'm hearing, I was coming into this, really looking at, the business end of Matty J, right? But, kind of bringing it together, the personal ends is the business end, right?
Is the business.
Like Jay said, I'm a businessman, not a businessman, right? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, your business is you. So it's kind of like the business of yourself. So that's dope. All right, so okay. So that's main advice to new entrepreneurs coming through. Get your splash together, do your thing, right? Now when it comes to the back end, because I've seen you work on the back end, and I mean you are a beast,
an assassin.
Yeah, an assassin with it. On the back end of the actual business development, whether it's funnel building, whether it's analytics. I think what I really want to ask is really about even the analytics and number side, because most entrepreneurs just don't know the numbers. They don't care to really dive in. It's not the fun part of business, right?
For some people, for sure.
And what I see with you is like, you have this creative side, but also analytical side, right? It's fun side, but also the nitty gritty side. You know what I'm saying?
And administrative.
So how do you where do we go from there? How do we balance that? How do we really get into the stuff that's not fun?
For me, again, I believe that I'm really interested because we run plays that we're interested in. And our interest is typically influenced based off of our personality, our character. So my bank code, for those who know, there's 4 categories. You're an action, a nurturer, a blueprint, or a knowledge. So blueprints typically love structure, processes, reporting, systems. Those type of individuals, they love that. They love numbers. So once I understood that this is actually part of my personality type, I understand why some people don't like, because that's not their personality type. They actually hate it. So if you're in a position where you don't like the numbers, cool, partner up with somebody who does, because it's needed.
You know what's crazy? I love numbers. I always say I remember numbers, I memorize cars. Like it's just a fun game for me in my head. Yeah.
And it's natural and innate for some people that it's not for others. So once I understood that I'm not an action. Action usually loves the attention, loves certain aspects, which is good. Like everybody plays a role. But I'd rather be on the back end. It's just of recent, the last 2 years where I'm on the front end and I see the benefits in it. However, I really love the impact of helping impact people who create impact. That's way more scalable. If I help people who create impact on the back end, I can help create way more impact than just me doing it on my own. So the back end, me looking at the numbers was a game changer for me. I'm like, okay, conversion rates. This is why this business isn't getting the ROI that they're looking for. It's not because the model on the website isn't a certain angle like they thought they was.
So let me ask you this, just on that real quick, is what tools do you use in order to track these types of things, like conversions and analytics?
So my mentor, Jason Miguel, is the one who put me on to the back end stuff. And I learned the hard way. He will tell me information. That's another thing about mentorship. It got to a point where I surpassed my mentor in like tangible success, so you could say. But I was really arrogant at that. I was like, how can you tell me to do this, but I'm getting these type of results? And what he was telling me to do, he himself didn't do, right? However, I had to humble myself because, for example, he'll tell me that I have too many, like when I had my clothing line, that I had too many products, too many SKUs. Yep. That's the reason why you feel like you're working in your business and not on. He was the very first person to tell me that statement. And this was almost 12 years ago. Now we use it all the time. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand or correlate less products, more results. He was saying, if you do less, you'll get more. I did not understand that, right? So once I started looking at the back end, I said, okay, let me humble myself. Let me look at these numbers. Okay, cool. If I decrease the amount of SKUs, that means less management of inventory, less marketing focus all over the place, I'll be able to get the results I need. So when I did the difference, I saw the numbers. I saw the numbers. The conversion rates were way higher when I had less items, less SKUs. And I was sold at that moment on the importance of knowing your numbers. Because the numbers was always there. It always was there. I just was never looking at them. And that helped with that process. And once I start running that play, I start learning about other things in that same sphere of influence, like abandoned carts, tracking where people are looking at on your actual website.
We talked about that the other day.
Like
heat maps.
Heat maps. Right. Above the fold. Yeah. Like understanding like what people are looking at, what color, like all that analytical stuff.
Where to place information.
Game changer.
Yeah. Right.
And then it really touched me when I had a coach who can relate really nerdy stuff in a way that is cool and creative. He said, have you ever been to a casino? I lived in Vegas at the time. He said, yeah, I've been in a casino. You think they place these tables there randomly? You think they have the machines making certain noises randomly? Or that the restaurants that you have to eat at are all the way at the back? Or when you go to the grocery store, the milk that everybody needs to buy, why it's all the way in the back? You would think that for convenience, the very thing that people buy the most should be in the front.
Right.
Why is it in the back? He asked me all these questions. I'm like, dang, why is it? Conversion rates. They'll be able to increase their conversion rates while making them, as we know, buy things that they...
Pick up one more thing on your way to that milk.
That's the process. And I started realizing that everything is numbers.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
And I got hooked. I started studying all these different growth hackers, optimizers, learning how they think, learning their language. And then I started implementing. So as I was learning, here's a hack. As I was learning information, I was implementing it simultaneously. And I wasn't just doing it for myself. I actually start soliciting services to other high-level playmakers where I can see the needle be moved. Most people, when they start their business, they start with entry-level entrepreneurs. I started with high-level entrepreneurs that are already getting results. So when I did something for them, I can see the clear difference. Immediate difference. And that was a cheat code for real.
Yeah, immediate feedback, man. That's actually dope. Because now you can tweak things as necessary.
And not at my own expense.
Exactly.
It's their business. I can do a little bit more risks. So a lot of, like you guys know in trading, some of the things we do are based off of emotions.
Exactly.
So there's plays that most people don't want to run because they're emotionally tied to how it's going to affect them.
Right.
Versus carrying it out, A/B testing, and trial and error.
No, definitely. Emotional intelligence is something that's definitely slept on. Like
just now learning about it the last 2 years, bro.
Yeah,
crazy.
And managing emotions in business and in trading is really the key to success a lot of times because you're gonna have those ups and downs, right? You're gonna do something that you're gonna try something new that's not gonna work. That could impact your business. And when you start to, those fluctuations start to happen, if you overreact and do it too emotional, you're going to find yourself spinning out of control. It's almost like when you're driving a car and the car starts spinning out of control. They tell you the last thing you want to do is overcorrect. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to stay straight. So
makes sense.
Nah, that's dope.
And trading isn't just the stock market. I think everybody's trading in their life.
Everybody.
Yeah. There's some type of trade
freedom
that's happening.
Everything.
At all times. Yep. I mean, like, what's his name? Robert Kiyosaki talking about trading. Either you trading your time for money, right, as a employee, right? You trading your money for money as an investor, or trading somebody else's time for money as a business owner. There's definitely always trade-offs, no matter what you're doing. So that's definitely a bar. Always studying, always growing. You mentioned some growth hackers. Who are your favorite growth hackers in the space that were really able to, turn Matty J into Matty J today?
Definitely. So again, Jason McGill, he put me on to systems 12 years ago. From the Trello boards, the Asana, all these companies that exist now, I was there in their beta phases.
Oh, wow.
They gave me access. Klaviyo, met with the CEO when it first started. Shopify. All these platforms that are now huge, I was dealing with their CFOs, CMOs early on because Jason put me on and connected. Jason Miguel connected me with them. So I got to learn with them, grow with them, and understand how everything works. Payment processing, all the different Stripe, Authorize.net, all these different SaaS companies. I'm learning the game super, super early. So it was Jason Miguel, some of these executives in these software programs.
Yeah.
I got marketing genius Patel.
Oh, Neil Patel.
Man,
he's been cranking online for years.
A lot of people still don't know who he is.
I'm probably in about 18 of his funnels at this point.
Bro, Neil Patel was like what Russell Brunson is.
Yeah, yep.
Neil Patel been running that play. He's the one who put me on heat maps.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And checking out timers, how long people looking at the analytics and using Google Trends and Google Analytics. Heavy. So Neil Patel was strong. I mean, I got a huge list, to be honest with you. And I got that list documented. It's in my bio. Matter of fact, all the people that impacted me. But yeah, those are the main.
So you said it's in your bio on Instagram?
Yeah, on my Instagram bio, I have like every website service I've ever used in every industry, all the blogs I've read, I document all that because I knew people were asking me.
Yo, so make sure y'all go tap into Matty J's link in bio. Click the link in his bio if you want the cheat codes, man. Those are all, you got all of that over there, man.
Free resource, no paywall, none of that.
That's dope. All right, Matty, man, listen, you dropped a bunch of gems on me. I'm going to recap what I heard.
Let's do it.
I'm going to see how many of them I can catalog. So we got, just keeping it simple. Right, what entrepreneurship is, finding the problem, solving the need, you know what I'm saying? Finding the problem, providing a solution, right? In exchange of value. We got turning your moments into movements, right? Okay. Always taking advantage of the opportunities that are, presented to you anytime, you have a moment. Finding ways to build off of that, to keep the momentum going.
Facts.
We got making sure you know yourself as an individual, as an entrepreneur, because you are your business, right? Your business is going to be a direct reflection of who you are. So if you're not organized, like Matty said, your business is not going to be organized.
What I learned today was education, the importance of education, entertainment, and impact. Like these three, if you're making any decision as an entrepreneur out there, make sure these things are factored into the decision you're making. Amen. It will literally expedite your growth to success and your pace to success, which is extremely important. The self-preservation aspect of things, like, being personal development, knowing yourself, what you like, what scares you, your abilities, you know what I'm saying? Man, listen, I don't want to get splashy, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to repeat the whole, the whole podcast here because I can, because of the memory we got. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave y'all with the education, entertainment, and impact, man.
Man, definitely.
That's massive.
We definitely about to stay splashy out here, man.
Right.
Yeah,
splashy.
Look, Matty, this is shameless plug time, man.
Yeah, man.
Let the people know where they can find you, what you got going on. Where they can tap into the value of Matty J.
No shame in my game.
There you go.
You can find out how I document the process with no losses. In my IG, I'm fairly focused on Instagram. So my Instagram name is CEO Matty J. Please get tapped in and wrapped in. Look forward to seeing y'all.
Let's go, man. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks for the cheat codes, man.
Listen, man, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Of course, we all know that good stuff. But most importantly, make sure you
tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes, sir. Smash that like button.
Smash that.